We finally received the Gears of War E-Day reveal trailer, and I can't express how excited I am. Getting a prequel to the Gears of War series is exactly what we needed. We get the OG squad, OG Locust enemies, and the full story of E-Day, and the retro weapons. In anticipation of E-Day, I want to discuss the lore of E-Day and how the planet of Sarah got there. To discuss E-Day, we need to discuss the Pendulum Wars, which occurred just 6 weeks prior to E-Day. The Pendulum Wars was a planet-wide war fought by the two ruling superpowers of Sarah, the Coalition of Order Governments and the Union of Independent Republics, for control of the planet's supply of valuable emulsion. Emulsion is a liquid found beneath the surface of planet Sarah. It was used for making gasoline, kerosene for energy, and the making of weapons. So in other words, in order to be the superpower of Sarah, you need control of the emulsion supply. Millions of human lives were lost in the conflict, and the environment was significantly damaged by the usage of several devastating weapons. The conflict was a deadlock for the majority of its duration until the COG managed to break the stalemate. Eventually, a peace treaty was signed between the Coalition of Order Governments and the Union of Independent Republics. With planet Sarah in shambles due to the war, it had about 6 weeks of peace before E-Day hit, better known as Emergence Day. Emergence Day was a full-scale, planet-wide attack on planet Sarah initiated by the Locust Horde. The Locusts were underground reptilian-like creatures that emerged from underground and wreaked havoc on the surface of planet Sarah.
Jacinto now stands as the last bastion of humanity. A final, desperate defense in the face of impossible odds. In a way, I pity them. But humanity, as always, brought this war upon itself.
The Locust's goal was to exterminate the human race and colonize on planet Sarah. Essentially, they were escaping the lambent, which was an emulsion-based infection that was spreading beneath the surface of Sarah. During E-Day, over a quarter of the total human population was killed within the first 26 hours, and millions were reported missing. E-Day was considered an apocalyptic event by many civilians on planet Sarah, and it was seen as the end of the world. This attack officially initiated the Locust War, which continued to occur for nearly 79 years after the Pendulum Wars. With that being said, Gears of War 1 takes place 14 years after Emergence Day, in the thick of the Locust War. After the reveal of Gears of War E-Day, I'm extremely excited to see where this game goes. We have the Gears of War book series that covers a ton of the Gears lore, but we haven't experienced very much regarding the Pendulum Wars and E-Day in the game series. This prequel has a lot of room to fill in the holes of this storyline that we never got to experience in the games. There were a ton of commanders during Emergence Day, and I'm curious to see who will be the main villain. I also think we're going to get a Carmine family reveal, particularly Will Carmine, the father of the Carmine brothers who was a sergeant in the Pendulum Wars. We might also see the creation of the Lancer assault rifle during the Locust War, considering they only had the Retro Lancers during the Pendulum Wars. There's a ton of history and lore to cover with this game, and I'm hoping we get a good portion of the Pendulum Wars and the transition to E-Day. Regardless, there's 14 years of history to cover from E-Day to Gears 1, and I can't wait to see where the Coalition takes things.